Hello, good day. Today I am going to present my research proposal entitled Effective Strategies for Improving Writing Skills of Grade 9 English Language Learners of Lilingayon National High School. Introduction. It is believed that writing is important and frequently used in people's daily lives, either as individuals such as writing application letter, messages, and dissemination of the research results, or member of society such as in our workplaces issues. Writing is also taught in informal education, considering the importance of having ability and good skills of writing. Yet, it is not easy to define the ability of writing. There are various definitions of writing ability according to different approaches of the teaching of writing. As mentioned by Yi in 2009, there are three approaches, namely product text-oriented approach. Second is the process cognitive-oriented approach. And lastly, he mentioned about the genre-based approach. Effective writing is a skill that is grounded in the cognitive domain. It involves learning, comprehension, application, and synthesis of new knowledge. Writing in a faculty's perspective also encompasses creative inspiration, problem solving, reflection, and revision that results in a completed manuscript. While from the student's perspectives, writing may instead be a laborious and even dreaded exercise of attempting to place thoughts on paper while developing mastery over the rules of writing, such as spelling, citation format, and grammar. So here is the statement of my problem. Writing has always been seen as an important skill in English. Writing has always been seen as an important skill in English language acquisition. This is important because it reinforces grammatical structures and vocabulary that educators strive to teach their students. It is the area in which learners need to be offered adequate time to develop their writing skill. Therefore, more time should be devoted to it in classrooms containing ELL so that they will be prepared to effectively communicate in real life as well as in academic situations. So, I see this as a statement of a problem because writing is an important skill even in first or second language acquisition. It reinforces grammatical structures and vocabulary that educators strive to teach their students. So, it is an important task because even though in writing, you need to develop the writing ability because writing is so useful in everyday life. So, here is the statement or here are the objectives of this research. I will only present two objectives. First is to identify effective strategies for improving writing skills among grade 9 learners. And second is discover and implement effective strategies that will improve the writing skills of ESL students. So here, let's proceed to our literature review. Becoming a proficient writer of English is a problem for many ESL students as they believe that they cannot simply write English. So, this becomes more prominent in the secondary grade level of learners and beyond. This feeling of incompetency leads to self-doubt and anxiety in writing and can hinder the process of achieving writing proficiency, according to Thomas in 1993. And also, researchers believe that it is not the task of writing that is deemed so intimidating, but more so the feedback and assessment of that writing by instructors and or peers. by Casper and Petrello in 1998. Right, writer of English is a problem for many ASL students because, of course, they cannot simply write English. Sometimes it becomes difficult for them to write English because they have that feeling of fear and anxiety that they may write it wrongly. So more of the students prefer not to write longer sentences because they are more afraid of committing mistakes because they believe that it is really hard to write. In addition, it is important to encourage students for expressing their ideas in a proper way, but it is more important to bring those ideas in written form, according to Shaughnessy in 1998. So, sometimes students have many ideas, but they're afraid to share ideas because they're afraid of the teacher's feedback. So, sometimes they're afraid of the color red ink of the pen of the teachers. They are afraid of that. So teachers' feedback is essential for the enhancement of students' English language competency, according to Casper and Petrello in 1998, because before, according to Pur Muhammadi, Zainul Abidin, and Chong Lai in 2012, writing instruction focus on the rules of grammar. So the focus of grammar becomes also intimidating to students because they will focus more on the grammar, not on expressing themselves. So they are more so scared to get mistakes or to get mistakes in writing, so they prefer not to write it anymore. So lastly, teachers may strengthen their students' writing competencies through different ways, such as by assigning them creative type essay and assignments, according to Vygotsky on 1987. So, we teachers can strengthen our students' writing competencies through different ways, such as by assigning them to creative type essays and assignments, not to the point that it's too long because they will be bored, and since they are high school, so they will be bored on what to write anymore because it's too long. So we need to see to it, or we as teachers, we need to see to it that it is appropriate, or shall I say time bounded or specific, or how many words in a paragraph, or how many paragraphs do you want, so that it may not sound so difficult for the learners. And teachers should take it as first priority to always motivate and encourage students' language activities in school. And parents are highly liable to check the home written assignments of their children for refining their writing skills, but sometimes it is not so applicable because some parents do not have that enough education. Even some parents didn't even graduated in elementary. So the task becomes forwarded to the teachers. So teachers should think about what are the activities for the learners to do. And here is the methodology of my research. The research design is a quantitative in nature, sorry for spelling. And the population is the grade 9 learners. And the sample that will be used is the pre-instruction writing activity instrumentation, pre-instruction writing activity, in which students will be instructed what to write or what they're going to do. And then the instrumentation is the survey type questionnaire. And the data collection used will be the experimental group and control group collection of data. So in here, the control group will be consist of 5 members as well as the experimental group. So at least 10 learners. And then other component of research is qualitative and at the same time quantitative. It's a mixture also, and the teacher will use scaffolding technique in implementing this research. But first, the teacher is tasked to create an environment conducive for ESL writers. And after that is, I will be preparing students to write. So, I'm going to activate their prior knowledge in which I can assess them before they even begin writing. So, I will make sure that students have the opportunity to think about what they already know before the task begins, so that it will help ESL students incorporate the information to existing knowledge, so what they already know. And also, the strategies can be used. These are some strategies that can be used. This includes graphic organizers, cooperative learning, read alouds, and group discussion. So, graphic organizers can be used as visual tools for students to write or draw what they already know about a subject. So, for example, in a genre of informational or persuasive writing, so from that activity, I can then evaluate whether further instruction is needed. And a hand-selected text can be utilized in order to provide additional background information, which can lead to group discussion. So, cooperative learning is also a great strategy to help students gain more background knowledge, especially for English learners. And also, this strategy requires students to collect information from books, from the internet, or each other as they work together with another student or group of students. So, preferably students who are native to Philippine language, but they're both learning English as a second language. And also, I will propose the vocabulary previewing, because that is important in writing. And also, the scaffolding instruction, in which Vygotsky in 1987 states that scaffolding is a means to which teachers can build upon a student's strengths, and they should be contextual, social, and temporary frameworks used to support successful learning with a specific academic domain such as writing. So, in that, scaffolding is thought of as using steps in a process, so modeling the step so that learners can follow it simply, and also giving students an opportunity to try it themselves. So this strategy should be prepared. And lastly, the journal writing, because journal writing will improve, and I think it is not intimidating. So it is not an intimidating means of practice in writing. So according to Wong Meha and Story in 2006, that interactive journals allows for students and teachers communication via a designated notebook designed for written dialogue between student and instructor. So as for me also, that it is not intimidating, and students can really open up their feelings and can really express their emotions, their thoughts, without the thought of being scared about the rules of grammars, the morphemes, the semantics because they will focus on expressing themselves. So that's all for my research proposal, and these are my reference. Thank you for listening and keep safe always. And thank you. Bye and God bless.